Okay, everybody got a card? That's our Christmas card to you. All right, so as I was saying, all the information that I present will come from the Vedic scriptures. The Vedas are very ancient scriptures. They were actually written down 5,000 years ago. But the knowledge itself is eternal. So prior to being written down, it was passed down orally from one perfect master to the next. Such a line of perfect teachers is known as a disciplic succession or a parampara. We are in the parampara known as the Brahma Sampradaya. And we feel very fortunate to receive our knowledge through this lineage. So, this is not my opinion. See, I'm just passing on this eternal science. As I have mentioned already, there are many different yoga paths or yoga teachings. They all have meditation in common. But one other thing they have in common, the understanding of our true identity, our real identity. Our subject tonight, love, real or apparent, is very much dependent on understanding who we are. Actually, life itself is dependent on understanding who we are for our life to be successful. So the Vedas say that we should all ask ourselves the question, who am I? But unfortunately, we almost never ask this question because we all think we already know the answer. Now, certainly, we all have our identities. We've had them our whole life. We have them in our minds. We have them on our lips. We even have them in our pockets. Meaning, this is who I think I am. This is who I tell others I am. And I can prove it. Here's my passport, my documents. We accept this, and so does everyone else. But is this our true identity? And upon close examination, we discover this is only a compilation of many labels. And this labeling process begins at birth. So, all of us here now, as soon as we took birth, received one of two labels, male or female. And we still identify like that today. I'm a man or I'm a woman. At that same time, we get another label according to our race, Caucasian, Negroid, whatever that may be. Our national identity can be very strong. I am Canadian, I am American, etc. Our family identity, we belong to this family. And actually, this identity is so strong that every day on this planet, one person kills another person simply because they have a different label. And this is just the beginning. Many, many labels come and go throughout our entire life. So, once again at birth, we're also known as babies. Then kids, we start school, now we're students. A few more years go by and we become teenagers and then finally adults. We take up some profession in life and we're known accordingly. Doctors, lawyers, secretaries, nurses. Then we get married. Immediately we're a husband or a wife. We have a child. Oh, now we're a mother or a father. A few more years go by. Grandfather, grandmother. And this is how we see ourselves. When we think of ourselves, this is me. This is who I am. And this continues on and on until we finally get the last label. Dead. But looking closely, we find this is all in relation to our material bodies. It is true, our body is male or female. Black or white, old or young, big or little, whatever our body is, it is. Yes, that is true. The question is this who we are? Every day we all take our pilgrimage to the mirror to see how we look. Sometimes we're a little disappointed. We always come back the next day. Gee, maybe there's been some improvement. Usually not. But do we really see ourselves? So the question's obvious. Am I this material body? If we want the most authoritative answer, we should go to the revealed scriptures of the world. And there we will discover very quickly, no, you're not the material body. But this is the modern world, and very rare does anyone go to Scripture to find the truth in life. However, we do readily accept the conclusion of the scientist. We like the scientists because they prove things. And uniquely enough, in this case, the scientists have proven in their laboratories that we're not our material bodies. They discovered there's no cell in the human body that lives more than 5 years. Some cells have very short life. You see, the lining of our stomach, those cells live 5 days. Our skin cells, 1 month. Our liver cells, 6 weeks, etc. But in 5 years, everything has changed. Therefore, if I look at a photograph of myself taken 10 years ago, the eyes in the photograph are different than the eyes I'm looking at the photograph with. They're not the same eyes. According to this scientific formula, if I'm 35 years old, I've had 7 bodies. But of course, we all know we're not 7 different people. Everybody knows, hey, I'm still me. So the changing factor is the material body, and the constant factor is ourself. Yes, we're not our material bodies. Now, at this point, some people become introspective, meditative. They begin to look inside to find out who they really are. And when we do look inside, what do we find? Well, there's emotion, desire, sentiment, feeling, will. These are all very real, and it's easy to conclude, aha, this is who I really am. Maybe we even have some experience to reinforce this. Let's say we're very emotionally upset. We recognize when people look at us, they don't see us. All they see is the outside cover. Maybe we feel quite lonely. Sometimes we even say, gee, nobody really knows me. But we must confirm this with Scripture, and especially the Vedic Scriptures, because they're very detailed in this knowledge. And when we do, we find we've made yet another mistake. This is not who we are either. This is actually another material body. It's called the subtle mental body. Sometimes it's called the astral body. I know many of you have heard of the astral body. So really we have 2 bodies. We've got our physical body and our mental body. Like having on 2 layers of clothing. We have our outer layer and our underlayer. But the question still remains, who am I? So once again, we go to the Vedas. And there we discover that we are in a different category of energy. Now everything is energy. Our bodies are material energy. However, we learn that we are spiritual energy. We further learn we're a tiny little spark of spiritual energy. We learn that material energy is temporary. That's very easy to see. We know all too well our bodies are very temporary. So much so we don't even want to talk about it. Hey, don't talk about that, see? But even the more permanent things like this building, come back here in 1,000 years. Gee, where was that lecture again? Temporary. However, we learned that spirit is eternal. Eternal means no beginning and no end. So we are eternal. We also learn that material energy is non-living. And again, that's easy to see. This chair or this microphone, there's no life. However, we learn that spirit is life itself. There's no such thing as live matter. There's no such thing as dead spirit. We are the life force in the body. As long as we are present in the body's called alive. But actually, this is not true. The body is dead. We are alive. And that becomes very obvious at the time of death. At the time of death, we leave the body. And at that exact moment, the body reveals its true nature. It can't even sit in a chair. It falls on the floor. See? So we are the life force in the body. Therefore, our true identity is spirit soul. Spirit meaning we're spiritual in essence. Soul meaning the individual spiritual sparks that we eternally are. We never become someone else, and we never cease to exist. Now, for some people, this is very depressing news. What? I'll always cease to exist? Gee, I thought it was going to be over soon. Sorry, it's never over. However, when we learn the truth in life, this becomes very wonderful news. So once again, we are spirit soul, and we further learn we're a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. There is a Supreme Soul from which we all come. We are known as the Atma, and the Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. Now, understanding this, our true identity, then we can begin to discuss and hopefully understand our subject matter. Love. When I give this lecture, of course it's advertised in posters and internet or whatever, a lot of people come because they think this is going to be a lecture about hearts and flowers. But it's not. Sorry to disappoint you. It's going to be a very scientific approach to the subject so we can actually understand it. For most people, love is just a bunch of emotion and sentiment, you see. Feeling. Feeling, of course, is there. Emotion is there. Sentiment is there. But it's much more to it than that. Recently, I saw a statement which I liked. It said, love is like the wind. I can't see it, but I can feel it. You know, we feel it, see. Everybody feels it. And this actually becomes the goal for many of us. Actually, for everybody. Where is love? Because, wow, we need it. Everybody's interested in the subject. How many songs have been written about love? Unlimited, right? Since time immemorable, people have been singing about love. And songs often comes from deep within a person, see? So there's love songs about the broken hearts. And there's love songs about, oh, I can't believe it, I'm so in love. And everything in between. The good, the bad, and the ugly, you know what I mean? Poets, that's a favorite subject for poets. And books and on and on and on, romance novels and so on and so on. It's such a prevalent subject in all cultures, see, because it is inherent to us, you see. We must understand that we as a spirit soul come with inherent characteristics. And inherent characteristics means a characteristic that is always a part of us. For instance, water has a characteristic of wetness, see. Wetness is always present where there's water. Whether it comes from the sky, from the tap, from the river, it doesn't matter. Water's wet. And you know that, see. Heat and light are inherent characteristics of fire. So we, the spirit soul, have many inherent characteristics. And one of those is love. If we said spirit is love, that wouldn't be incorrect. That would be actually perfectly correct, see? So it's actually really who we are. But unfortunately, it gets so confusing. There's no subject more confusing than love. There's no subject more mysterious than love. There's no subject that completely takes us on long journeys to nowhere than love. Like, wow, how did I wind up here? So what we're dealing with here is a subject that is a part of us that we all know we need, but actually we don't know anything about it. So that's what we're going to try to do today. Discuss it on a deeper level. This is quite involved, so you'll have to pay attention. Sometimes people like to take notes, but the best notes are here. You can lose the paper, but hopefully you don't lose your mind. So. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. And the beginning, I mean the real beginning. See, we are eternal spirit souls. We originally were in the spiritual world. There are two distinct worlds. There's the material world where we are located now, which is composed of innumerable universes. And within each universe, there are innumerable planets. The prevailing energy in the material world is material energy. We are in one small universe on one small planet called Earth. Now, we're quite arrogant because we look up at night at the Milky Way, unlimited stars, and all the other luminaries above. And our conclusion is, due to this arrogance and lack of knowledge, we're the only guys. There's nobody up there. We're the only guys. See? Wrong. See? Wrong. There's life on all planets. You see? Some much more advanced than this one. Some very, very much more dark, if you will, than this one. More suffering, etc. That's all part of this Vedic knowledge. But originally we were in another world. There is a world superior to the material world. It's called the spiritual world. The world where the prevailing energy is spirit. It's all spiritual energy. There is no material energy there. And this is our real home. This is where we belong. However, if we belong there, why aren't we there? Because at some point, we made a very bad decision in life. You see, we, the spirit soul, have been endowed by the Supreme Soul with an eternal free will. We also have been given a minute amount of independence to exercise that will. So we have that freedom to choose what we want. Now, we are parts and parcels of the Supreme Soul. See, small fragmental portions of the Supreme Lord. And therefore we have all the qualities of the Supreme Lord. A diamond and a chip of a diamond have exactly the same qualities. The only difference is the chip has a minute quantity. You see? So if you think of it like that, we are the chip, if you will, of the diamond. We have all the qualities but in minute quantity. So what are these spiritual qualities that the Supreme Lord has and therefore we all have? Well, the Supreme Lord is number one, so we have that tendency too, that quality to be number one. Supreme Lord is the supreme controller. We also have that tendency to be the controller. He is the supreme enjoyer. Certainly we have that tendency. I want to be the enjoyer. He is the Lord and the Master. We like to be the Lord and Master too, you see, etc., etc. So, at some point, and don't try to figure this out because you can't. Don't waste your brain power on this one. At some point, we decided, actually we became a little envious of the Supreme Lord. See, because this desire to be number one came forward. I want to be number one. I want to be the Master. I want to be the Lord. I want to be the enjoyer, etc. See, why him? I want to be like that. Now, in the spiritual world, there is no place to exercise that desire because that position's already filled. There's somebody already there. Sorry about that. You see. But no worries because Supreme Lord can do whatever. He knows what we want. He always fulfills our desires. So therefore, he creates the material world for us as a place to come and try to live out our fantasy, you see, of being the Lord. I am the Lord of all I survey. You see, I want to control material energy. I want to control all the other people, etc., etc. So we come into the material world with this attitude. You've heard the idea, he's got an attitude. We all have an attitude. And that's it. That's why there's nothing but competition in this world. Everybody's competing. For what? Number one. See, what are all the sporting events about? Losing? I'm training hard so I'll lose? No, so I'll be number one. See, the greatest goal of all these athletes, the gold medal at the upcoming Olympics, you see. Oh, we work so hard, we work so hard. See. I remember somebody told me once, there's only one winner. Everybody else is losers. They just create the second place and third place to make the losers feel good. See? So here we are in this world trying to accomplish the goal. Now, along with us comes what? This desire to love. Because we need it. You see, it's not something I want, it's something I need. It's described in the Vedas as the urgent need of the soul. We need love. And I think everybody recognizes that. That's why we never give up the search. You see, the sporting wear company, the North Face, has a slogan, never stop exploring. See, well, that's our slogan, never stop looking for love. We got to find it somewhere. See, so we look here, we don't find it. Do we give up? No, we just go over here. Oh, this one is it. Now, no, then another one and another one. There was actually a country western song, very popular, a few years back now. Looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in too many places, just another broken heart looking for love. You see, this is us. Everybody's playing the same game. Maybe her, maybe him, maybe that, maybe that. And finally, maybe we're so disappointed and so over it, we give up on humans, but we don't give up on love. We get a dog. Maybe 2 dogs. You see, or a cat. See, are you a dog person or a cat person? See, or maybe a bird, or maybe a snake. I knew one girl, she had a big boa. That was her love object. You see, she liked the way he hugged. Nobody hugged like him. Also kept her slim. She couldn't put on weight. But the point is, there was still the object of love. You see, it's unique. The scientists, they're always experimenting with things. You see, let's just see what will happen if we do this. So they did a little experiment with baby monkeys. They would take a baby monkey away from its mother at birth, and they would put it in a cage alone. And it would never have contact with any other humans, monkeys, nothing. They fed it through a door. So it didn't have any other contact with life. It was in this cage alone. It had enough food and water and warmth and so on, but no object of love. They even put a wooden object in the cage, somewhat resembling a monkey. And the little monkeys would go and hang on to this object and cry. You see? And eventually they all went crazy. And they did this again and again, and the same thing happened each time. See? Because it was an inherent characteristic. This little baby monkey needed love. It wasn't about the water and the food, it was about the love that it didn't have, you see. And I think, again, we all recognize this. You see, you can have everything, but if you don't have love in your life, really your life is empty, you see. A good friend of mine knew a person in London, and he was a very accomplished artist, won all kind of prizes, very acclaimed personality. And she visited him just after he'd won some big award, and he should have been so happy. He's got his plaque or whatever it was that he was presented, and people clapping, and then he's in his big apartment, penthouse or whatever, see, and he's feeling completely empty. And he says, I got all of this, but I got nothing because I have no love in my life. You see, it doesn't mean anything. But if you have real love in your life, then the rest of it doesn't matter that much. You see, the hardships of life, all these other things, you can weather the storm, you see, because you're supported by love. So really, we need to know about this subject. This is the most important subject in our life. You see, life is founded on this basis. We need to know about it. But again, unfortunately, we're confused by it more than anything else. fools rush in where angels fear to tread, you see. But angels never fall in love, so how are they to know? You see. Fools jump in and fools get kicked out. You see. So we don't want to be fools. We want to be very, very smart people, wise people. So let's discuss it now, how it really works. Here we are, the spirit soul. We come into the material world following our desires. But by divine arrangement, when the spirit soul comes into the material world, it becomes covered by various layers of material energy. And these layers of material energy actually oftentimes become what we consider ourself. So the layers are, starting from the gross going to the most subtle: earth, water, fire, air, ether. These comprise our physical body. These 5: earth, water, fire, air, ether. But remember, we have a subtle body, a mental body. This is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Starting from the most subtle and then working our way out, we find we have to begin with the false ego. Now, if you have read some esoteric books on yoga and New Age philosophies, etc., you've probably been confronted with the idea that ego is bad. We must get rid of our ego. Our problems in life are caused by our ego. I meet people all the time and they say, "Oh, I've got a big ego, but I'm working on it. You know, I got to get rid of my ego." This is actually misunderstanding. Ego means I. Ego is who I am. I can't get rid of myself. Remember, we're eternal spirit souls. We cannot cease to exist. So this idea, I must get rid of my ego, is completely wrong. Impossible. You cannot do it. Ego is not bad. Ego is who we are. But false ego, this is the problem, you see. So we, the pure spirit soul, are covered by this subtle layer of false ego. False ego means the false I. This is where the illusion starts. The material world is the world of illusion. And we are operating under this illusion. See? So, we have this false ego, and through this false ego, our perception is I am this body. I am male, female, whatever it may be. I am the enjoyer. You see. I am the Lord. I am the master. This world is my home. My goal in life is to enjoy as much of this material energy as I can, etc., etc. This is all illusion. None of it is correct. But this is how we live our life. So all the goals we set in our life are material goals. Trying to achieve these material goals, which the idea behind it is, it will make me happy. See? Well, along the way, we are trying to find the perfect love. And love automatically involves another person. You see, there are some philosophies that say that we are all one and that ultimately we are not individual personalities, etc. I won't get too far into that. That's a big, deep subject. But all of this would negate the concept of love, because love is an exchange between two people, right? There has to be another person to love. Whether it's a human or an animal or a plant. Some people love their plants, you see. Whatever. There's another living entity there. It's interesting. One time I was in Moscow on a walking street, very busy walking street. And it just so happened that right here was a toy store, and right beside it was a pet store. And in the window of the toy store, there was some toy dogs, mechanical, battery-operated toy dogs. And they were quite good ones. See, they could stand up and bark and wag their tail and walk and move their head. They were very animated. And right next to that was the pet store, and it had some live puppies in the window. And I said, well, this is going to be interesting. And I just stood there and watched the people go by. And almost nobody stopped and looked at these toy dogs, except for a couple of kids. And they were coming from this way, you see. But so many people stopped in front of the pet store and looked at these little puppies and dee-dee-dee, tap on them and ooh, do. You see, some would go in the shop and reach down and pet the puppies. You see, talk to their friends about them. You see, like that. Why? What's the difference? I mean, if you're looking for convenience, buy this toy dog. Never get sick. You just put in a new battery every now and then. Turn him on when you want. Turn him off when you want. He doesn't have to go out in the morning. You see? It's good. He doesn't get old. You see? You can neglect him. He's all right. You see? You got a lifetime commitment. As long as this guy lives, you're involved. You see? You got a lot of responsibility here. Oh, but this one is I can love this one. You see? So that's the idea. We know all of these things intuitively because it is who we are. We are loving beings. However, when this loving propensity, this loving tendency, this loving desire passes through the medium of the false ego, it comes out on the other side in a perverted way. Just like if I have a white light here, I shine it through a red lens. On this side of the lens, the light is red. On this side of the lens, the light is white. This is the original color, but over here it's red because it's been changed by the lens through which it passed. So when we pass our need for love, our tendency to love, our love, through the medium of the false ego, it comes out over here perverted as lust. You see, lust is the perverted reflection of love. The material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Everything that is here is present in the spiritual world, but in its upside down form, the perverted nature. So, therefore, when we take this love into the material realm, it becomes lust. Love is the most nourishing of all things. Love is that which sustains us. That's why we need it so much. That's why the monkeys went crazy. See, we can't do without it. So, love, which is also not only the most nourishing, but the most powerful force. There is no force equal to love. See, love can conquer everything. Love is the most powerful force of all forces. When it passes through the false ego and becomes lust, now it has the same power, see, but it's the opposite effect. The difference is love is all about giving. Love is about giving pleasure to the one whom I love. So the object of my love is who I give my life to. My whole business is to see them happy. And when they're happy, that is my happiness. See, that is my reward. It's not about getting anything from them. It's about their pleasure, and the reward for me is seeing them happy. And that's the end of the story. However, lust is the opposite. It's about getting. Remember, there's always the opposite. Lust is about getting. I give to you, but I expect something back. I love you if you love me. You see, I give you a lot. What do you give me? Have you ever heard that? I give you everything. I give you my love. And what do I get? I always tell you I love you. You never tell me you love me. I bet nobody's ever heard that. Oh, I love you. Is that okay? But you don't mean it. You see? Yes, I mean it. But you know they don't. But anyway, see, and as long as the giving and take is equal, it's not so bad. I give, I take, it's all right. But as soon as it starts getting a little out of balance, things start going south. You see, until finally it just goes completely down. That's the first part. The second part is this lust is never satisfied. See, my partner in love, whoever or whatever that may be, is supposed to satisfy me. I'm the enjoyer, remember. In the false ego world, I'm the enjoyer. In the true spiritual world, God is the enjoyer. I'm the servant, He's the enjoyer. My happiness is serving Him and pleasing Him. So it's a loving servant. It's not a servitude servant. This is who we are. This is our true nature. See? But in the material world, it's the opposite. I'm the enjoyer, see? And I don't want to be the servant of anybody. I want to be the master. They are to serve me. Do my will. My will is the supreme. Everybody revolves around me. My will be done is our mantra. See? But of course, we're not the supreme. Our will is not supreme, so we're oftentimes disappointed, and we're struggling with that. We're frustrated about it. So, here we are trying to be the enjoyer, and this other person in my life is the object of my enjoyment. So their responsibility is to please me, to serve me, to provide the enjoyment for me which I want. But of course, it doesn't work like that. They, number one, can't. Because this desire to have the perfect love and fulfilled by the perfect love can only come from God. This person cannot fulfill my need for God's love. But I expect them to. See? Therefore, there's this conflict. When we get together, maybe, let's say there's two people and they fall in love. And when they get together, it's so sweet, and they're exchanging their emotions and feelings, and they're so happy, etc., etc. See, very, very sweet. It's such a wonderful taste. There's no taste like it, right? But as with all things material, as with all things based on lust, it gradually diminished. Material pleasures are very temporary. And so it was so good, it was so good, it was kind of good, it was all right, it's not so bad. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't think I like this. I'm over it. Goodbye. I used to love you, but I don't now. What do you mean you used to love me and you don't now? Well, I just don't have it anymore. I don't feel for you anymore. See, it's that way in material life. And it happens again and again and again, you see. So with accompanying the love is always anxiety. See, first there's the anxiety. I won't get that person I love. See, maybe I don't have anybody, but I'm looking so hard. Now I'm anxious. I'll never find them. You see, so that's the anxiety. But then I find them and I get them. I got you. You see, it's two faces. I love you face and I got you face. You see, I love you. You're so sweet. I got you. Mm-hmm. But you never get this face until after the fact. You see, that's a little bit late. But anyway, so then there's the anxiety. I'll lose them, you see. And then I do lose them, and I'm in anxiety. I lost them. So before, during, and after, anxiety, you see. And even if we find that person who really seems to satisfy us our whole life, you see, that's a temporary situation too, because we don't stay in these bodies that long. So therefore, we have to separate due to our leaving our bodies. Either they die and I'm left behind, or I leave and they're left behind. So it's built into the arrangement, right? I will love you, I will care for you until death do us part. That's part of the vows you take. Until death do us part. So it's like written already, course, till death do us part. That's why some people think, when are you going to die, man? You've been around a long time, you know. I knew one old man, he told me, I've been waiting 55 years for somebody to run off with my wife, and they never have. Actually, they never did. He died first, but he got out. Hey, he's not worried about it anymore. You see? So at best, you can say, oh, but man, my husband or wife have been together for 65 years and we love each other so much. But hey, it's over now, And it's very, very, very painful, you see. There is no pain like the death of a loved one because we've given our heart to that person. This is actually our life. You see, we can actually hear that statement again and again. I no longer have a life. When they died, I died with them. But you're still here. No, but I died, meaning my heart died, my love died. They're gone, you see. And that's another great pain in this material world. So the great pain of not finding the love, of coming together, and the separation, you see. Now again, back to this idea of this other person is the object of my enjoyment, and they're supposed to make me happy, but it's based on lust. This is always going to end in some type of conflict, you see. The number one crime in the world today is domestic violence. Domestic violence, doesn't that mean in the home? Yes. Gee, I thought the home was where people loved each other. I thought that's where the nest was. I thought that's where, it was like the best place. No, that's the place where the most anger is. Because they were supposed to make me happy, but they didn't. You see, and now I got this whole complicated situation, and I'm not happy here. You're supposed to make me happy, you don't. Boom. And we find all these little reasons to get angry. Oh, you squeeze the toothpaste from the middle. You're supposed to roll it up from the bottom. You didn't put down the toilet seat. You see, all the little things that set us off because we're just basically angry about the whole scene. Because lust always results in anger. There's a great, wonderful scripture of truth from the Vedas known as the Bhagavad Gita. And in there, the Supreme Lord is describing this scenario very perfectly. He says the sequence is like this. From the contemplation of the objects of the senses, one develops attachment. So here we go. We're contemplating the objects of the senses, someone to love. Oh, we found someone. Okay, we're contemplating them. All right, from that comes attachment. Okay, we're attached. See, we're very, very into it now. Now, from attachment develops lust. Now things are getting very, very involved, you see. Lust is like a hot fire. It burns. A deep burning fire. Love, love, love burns like a burning fire. Anyway, there's a lot of songs about that one. You see. And then there's the people who say, come on, baby, light my fire. You see. Meaning turn my lust on, So you got all kind of viewpoints on the same subject. One's burning me up, one's supposed to burn me up. You see. But anyway, from attachment comes lust. And then from lust comes anger. So following the honeymoon will be the anger. You see. The anger is automatically built in. So I will become angry. That's why domestic violence is so prevalent. See. And then from anger comes bewilderment of memory. I forget who I am. I forget who this person is. It's just like boom. I do things. I say things I would never do. Right? And then from that comes loss of intelligence. We do very, very stupid things and we just fall again into the material pool, it's called. And this is the sequence, and it goes again and again and again. It's to be expected. Don't think it's going to be different than this. This is the Supreme Lord himself describing the arrangement he has created. You see? So we're not going to be, but it's not like that. It is like that. You see, this is the way it really is. Now, also, because of this anger and lust and all of this, you find that the one you love the most is the one you hate the most. You ever notice that? I love you, I hate you. You see, somebody just have a casual acquaintance with, you don't go kill them. You know, but these people that you love, why do you kill her? I loved her too much. You see, I loved her to death. Because it's the opposite reaction, the love and the hate. See, love and hate, lust, anger, back and forth. This is not good. This does not nourish the soul. This only causes us so many problems. You know, the present problems and future problems. We create so much karma from these kinds of relationships, you know. It is not healthy for us. It's not healthy for children that are born into these families. You see, they grow up, and there's so many, you know, children grow up in families where anger is the prevailing mood. You see, they grow up in fear. The hardest thing is to see your parents fighting, and basically it's like a common thing, and people are damaged psychically by this. And then they come into the age where they're in the same scenario and they do it too. See, because no one is teaching us the truth about love. You know, it's all about this lust and all the hearts and flowers and all the gooshy-gooey things that, you know, get us stuck. You know, in Russia they have this, or there's other countries over there too, they have this thing where they take a lock, maybe it's here too, I've never seen it though, but there it's quite common. They take a padlock. Say there's a boy and a girl and they're in love. So they take a padlock, they write their names on it, you know, and they lock it on a bridge over a river or something, you see. And this is a symbol of their love, see. And here they are, they've long left this lover, and the lock is still there. See, they're locked in. So guys are out there with a hacksaw, cutting the lock off, throwing the lock away. They put a new lock on, Susie, you see. Or they have their tattoos, Emily, Susie, Jane, and they all got crossed out. And then a question mark. Who's next? I don't know if I want to get involved with you, man. You got too many histories here. You see. This is not love. This does not make anybody happy. See, it does not. It cannot. Lust is never satisfied. See, George Harrison wrote many songs of truth. See, one of the songs he wrote, it says, you know, the senses, which are the basic seating places of lust. See, lust is, or senses are never satisfied, only swelling like the tide. You see, you never satisfy the senses. You never satisfy your desire for lust. Yet we base our relationships on this exact foundation. Senses, what do they look like is the first thing. Oh, what do they look like, you see? Meaning, what does the body look like? You don't know what they look like, the spirit soul. No, what does the body look like? And everybody has their formula. I like them long and tall. I like them short and not so tall. I like this color eyes, or this color hair, or this blah, blah, whatever. We all have our formula, see, just to watch, just a casual visual, you see. And then, oh, well, that looks good enough, and it fits into that category, and then we go a little further. And we like this thing and that thing. You see, it's all based on the sensual perceptions. See, that's why everybody dresses up so nicely. So the other person who looks at them will see an object of attraction. Oh, they will like me. They will love me. You know, that's what fashion is all about. I remember one time I saw this guy, and he had a big chicken bone in his ear. You know, and I went, I don't know if anybody's going to be too attracted to that, you know. I was at a big gathering of people that were free thinking. And then later I saw him with his partner. And she had a chicken bone through her nose. I said, oh, I understand. I get it now. Oh, wow, there's another chicken bone. And they got together just like that. So it's why we have all the perfumes and the lipstick and the good stuff for the eyes and this shapely clothes and, and all those things to attract the other person, you see. But if that's where we get our partner from, there's going to be only an object of pleasure, trouble. See, because do I want somebody that's just attracted like this? I make it so they're very lusty. That means I'm making it so there's going to be a lot of problems. You see, that's not a good basis for a relationship. See? So how do we actually decide what to do with all of this love I have? Actually, we have to make it so we are on the platform of spiritual love. Now, spiritual love is what nourishes the soul. Spiritual love has to originate with love for the Supreme Lord. This is the source of love. God is the source of love. There is a statement, God is love. That's exactly right. And therefore, because we are part and parcel, we could also say we are love. And that's true too. You see, spirit is love. But God is the reservoir. We are only tiny parts. We only have a small drop, tiny little speck of love. But if I connect to the reservoir, I am inundated with love. I am filled with love. And then I can give love to everybody. You see, I'm not just harboring and hoarding one little drop, which I'm trying to figure out who to give it to. You see, who am I going to give this little drop to? I don't know. You see, I can give it to everybody because it's overflowing. Think of it like this. There's two people in the desert. What is the problem in the desert? Lack of water. So here two people are in the desert, and they need water. See, they need it. To live, they must have it. They meet each other in the desert, and they're very caring, very giving people. So each one has one drop of water. So this one says, oh, I see you need water. Yes, I'm looking for water. Okay, take my water, one drop. Oh, thank you. I know I'll give you what I have. And he gives him one drop. So now each one has a drop of water. And it tastes great, but it's only one drop. And you're in a desert. Doesn't go very far. Doesn't do any good. Doesn't satisfy your need. You see. But if somehow one of those people can take the other one to the oasis, now everybody's satisfied. Here's unlimited supply of water. They don't have to worry about who am I going to drop to. It's like, what am I going to do with all this water? Here, you want some? Here's all this love. What am I going to do? Give it to everybody. Give it to the ones you love, the ones you hate, and everybody else. Because you don't hate anybody. You see. Now everybody. You look at the great lives of the great masters who came. And what did they do? Gave love to everybody. Did they just select one person and say, this is mine? This is the only place I'm going to give my love to? See. No. You see, we're always trying to protect our property in a lust situation. This is my girl. Don't look at her. Don't touch her. See, I saw you. How many people have been in fights because of this? I saw you looking at my woman. Boom. See, hey, man, I just looked, she's mine. Stay away. In fact, you don't even want to introduce her to your friends because everybody's going to try to snake her, because she's so nice. So you're kind of, always on the defense. But in this world of real love, everybody gets to take part, you see, and everybody finds real happiness. This is nourishment for the soul. But to do this, we have to get rid of the false ego, because as long as that's there, all of this is going to be filtered through the false ego and come out as lust. In Bhagavad Gita, it says, lust is the all-devouring sinful enemy of the world. We think we have one enemy, another enemy, but the real enemy is lust. It is our own self being perverted through the false ego. We are our own worst enemy. You see, this lust is eating us alive. But the solution is remove this false ego, come back to my real true nature, true spirit soul. I'm not the enjoyer. I'm not the body. This world is not my home. I am the eternal loving servant of the Supreme Lord. I began to work on that relationship, which is now forgotten. It's there, but it's forgotten, you see. It's long lost, but it's still eternally there. So that's the process of Bhakti Yoga. We try to reestablish that relationship. See, uncover, revive that lost relationship. That's the whole idea of life. A friend of mine, he had a daughter, but he left the mother of the daughter before the daughter was born. But he knew somewhere on this planet he had a daughter. But he never saw her. When the daughter was about 26 years old, and I forget how it happened, but somehow they found each other. The relationship was there. He knew the relationship was there. She obviously knew she had a father. I mean, everybody's got one of those, you see. But she didn't know who it was. She didn't know where he was or nothing. But there was this desire to reconnect. And somehow it happened. And when they found each other again, they were both so happy. You know, they were so happy. Wow, here is my lost child. You know, here is my father. See, it was a revival of that relationship which was lost, you see. And then it continued on, and his whole business was, oh, now she had some problems, material problems, money problems, and some kids and whatever. Anyway, he just jumped right in to help her. Oh, I want to help her. He was just so involved in serving her, you know. Gave her money, took care of the problems any way he could, you see. Then she married a man, and he, you know, got involved. And then one day I saw him walking down the street, and he said, come here, look at my granddaughter. Oh, he was so proud. This is my granddaughter, you know, of the lost relationship, you know. And that was such a perfect example of how happy the soul is when it actually revives its lost relationship, and how happy the Supreme Lord is when we finally do that. Wow, I'm so happy. So there's joy on both sides. Whereas in this material stuff, you see, which is based on lust, there's no joy anywhere. It's just temporary sensual pleasures, physical and mental and emotional. But there's no real pleasure for the soul. And that's why we're never really, really, really satisfied, no matter how good the relationship is, because we're missing that relationship which can only satisfy us. So, through the process of Bhakti Yoga, we began to gradually live a different lifestyle, which is designed by the Supreme Lord Himself in a perfect scientific way, so that relationship gradually begins to be cultivated. It begins to evolve. We actually enter into a direct, true, it's not fantasy, it's true relationship. There's no speculation here. It's an actual fact of life. And when that takes place, then our false ego begins to melt, if we'll use that term. It begins to diminish. I no longer think I'm number one. I begin to realize there is a real number one. I no longer think I am the master. I realize there's a true master. And I'm not the Lord. I'm the servant. I begin to realize these things. And I'm happy that I realize it. I feel good. Why? Because it's my natural position. We can never feel good in an unnatural state of life. That's why no matter how wonderful everything is, how high on the ladder I climb, I'm the president, I'm number one in whatever, I'm the richest, I'm the most famous, whatever, it never feels perfectly good. It's so unfulfilling because it's not who I am. It's the false me. That's not who I am. See? And at night, I'm still lonely. At night, my heart is still empty. During the day, I'm very busy, but at night, I'm alone. That's why most people don't like to be alone. See, when it gets dark and there's nobody there, I got to deal with me. And I don't like that. So I just stay very busy, you see. Fill my life up with people and all the things, you see. It's an empty life. Our life is not supposed to be empty. See, our life is supposed to be full to the fullest with love, with affection, and with that comes compassion and mercy. Our hearts are very hard now because in this world of lust, it has to be like that. It's a hard world. If you're soft-hearted and open your heart to everybody, it'll get trampled. You see, so you learn right away. You have to have this shield around your heart. You know, you don't really want it like that, but that's the world we live in. And finally, it's like that's normal. And softness and tenderness is you don't even know what it means. See, so even in the so-called loving relationships, there's this hardness and there's this reluctance to actually give your heart to another person because you're afraid. But when we come back to our original loving relationship with God, we're not afraid. There's no fear here. God is the source of love. What's He going to do? Take it away from me? He's going to give us more. What does He want from us? Nothing but our love. See, we're afraid. Everybody else wants everything from us. See, they want our money. They want us to please them. Say, oh, they're my friends. Why? Because they give me pleasure. See, but when your friends quit giving you pleasure, they're not your friends anymore. See, oh, I used to like them. We were really close, but now they don't do what I do anymore. See, they quit drinking. Why? What are they for? You know, no fun going to the bar with somebody that doesn't drink. You see, so there's no need for them anymore. We select our friends or discard our friends according to how much pleasure they give to us. God doesn't do those things. He loves us eternally and unconditionally. All we have to do is love Him back. See, in this world, we're always afraid we'll lose the one we love. No worries there. You're not going to lose him. He doesn't die either. See, death doesn't part us. There's no interruption. It's an eternal situation. It's the perfect person. We're always looking for the perfect person, but when you find that perfect person, you find out he's not perfect. See, how long does it take to start seeing the imperfections? Not long. You see, and they go bigger and bigger. You see, wow, I thought you were perfect, but I see you aren't. See, well, surprise, surprise. See, I thought you were perfect, I see you aren't. See, but two devotees who know the truth, two lovers of God, two people who understand these truths, come together knowing I can't make you happy and you can't make me happy. That's not the point. But we can come together and actually enter into a relationship of teamwork, a friendship of service to God, together. That's the perfect relationship. Now, I'm not dependent, they're not dependent, but we're all dependent on God. See? And therefore, we're happy, He's happy, everybody's happy. Children come into such a relationship, they're happy. They learn from the very beginning of their life what love really is. See? Most of the time, people, see what is called love, and they go, I don't want any part of that, man. It's too scary. I got no need for that. So some people actually never get married, never have anybody in their life because they're afraid of love, you see. But they still need it. So they don't really know what to do. They're caught in between what I need and what I've seen, But there is this perfect solution. The spirit soul is always pure. The soul itself doesn't become contaminated, but it becomes covered with contamination. Take a diamond, cover it with many layers of mud. The diamond's still pure. The diamond did not lose its purity, but its purity became covered by layer after layer and layer of mud, dirt, muck. So the radiance, the brilliance of the diamond cannot be seen. Clean away those layers, and there it is. Diamond in the rough, they call it. See, so we're diamonds in the rough, really rough, extremely rough. But through the process of bhakti yoga, based around the hearing and chanting of these mantras, the holy names, the transcendental sound, gradually the layers are removed. Like an onion, you peel the layers off gradually, gradually, gradually. And underneath all of that is who we really are. This is who we really are. And gradually we start feeling like our true self. And out of that is a very compassionate, gentle, loving person, you see, whose heart is very soft. See, not a stupid heart that just goes around blah, 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 you know, but a heart that's very, very filled with love, can give to everybody, but at the same time knows how to protect itself, you see, because this world is what it is, see. So there's no stupidity here. It's very, very wise people who are in these categories, see. This is the process of Bhakti Yoga. We, the spirit soul, are located within our heart. This is where we are physically in the body. That little spiritual spark, which I described we are, actually has its residence in the heart. That's why all of our loving emotions and so on are felt in the heart. That's why everywhere in the world, the heart is a symbol of love. See, in every country, that is a universal symbol of love. I go to countries like I go to Russia. I can't read the language because they have a different alphabet. I have no idea. I see a word, you don't even know what the letters are. You see. But I see something, a heart, and something. I know that Sergei loves Anya. You see. And then you see one with an arrow through it. That's Cupid's arrow. Then you see one with a sword through it. That's over it. Broke my heart, tore my heart up. See, it's destroyed my heart. Why? Because we're the spirit soul here. See, oh, I got a broken heart. But if they put them on the table and did an exam, they wouldn't find any broken heart. Your heart looks fine to me. There's no broken parts here. No, but I'm broken. See, we, the spirit soul, feel devastated because we've, again, thought we were going to have love, hung on to it, were attached to it, and it didn't, because it wasn't love. You don't fall out of love, you fall out of lust. So that is the goal. This is the solution and the only solution. If you know one thing in your life, know that you're spirit soul. If you know two things in your life, know that you're the servant of the Supreme Soul. If you know three things in your life, know that perfect love which you are looking for is only found in one place. And that is with our loving relationship with the Supreme. That is the truth. And those who pursue love in this place will find real love, and again, their life will be a reflection of that. It will not be a reflection of anger. It will not be a reflection of disappointment. It will not be a reflection of depression and sorrow and lamentation and all the things that are reflected in a heart filled with lust. It will be a heart filled with, so their life will reflect that. And that's the hearts and flowers part. That's where the hearts and flowers come in, you see. So that's why it is a gift. Love is a gift. If we receive that gift and we reciprocate by giving that gift back, then we are properly situated in life. This is what life is meant to be. As a human, in other words, that's a bad statement. Let me retract that. As a spirit soul in a human body, we have an amazing opportunity, and that is to learn these truths and apply them to our life. When I, the spirit soul, am in a lower form of life, a dog, a cat, I still need love. That's not going to change, but I don't have any possibility to find it because I don't have the ability to perceive and understand these truths. See, in the human form, I have this amazing intelligence, amazing mental facility, you see, to contemplate who I am, to contemplate real love in the spiritual world, etc., etc. So we, for some reason, somehow, have been so fortunate that now we have human bodies. Not many people do. We're a minority, I can tell you, and you know that. You look out in the forest, you see unlimited trees, one person. You see, we are the minority. So we now have a very unique opportunity to learn about love, fulfill my need for love, and go back home. Because when I leave my body and I have developed this loving relationship with the Supreme Lord, that love takes me home. See, on this planet, love takes us all kind of strange places, but it's not love. The true love takes us home. And that is where we will always be fully immersed in happiness. See, it's called Ananda. Ananda is the Sanskrit word which means spiritual bliss. See, we talk about bliss and so on sometimes in this world, but this is not the Ananda. Ananda is the spiritual bliss which comes from love, and it is the prevailing mood in the spiritual world. There everyone is singing, everyone is dancing, everyone is loving the Supreme Lord and everyone else. All life forms are living. There is no inanimate matter there. This is our home. And it can be achieved in this lifetime. This lifetime. When you leave your body, whenever it is time to go, you can go back home. You don't have to take another birth on this wheel of birth and death. See, and go through another life and another life and another life, still in the frustration of looking and not finding. You see? This is what we should actually see as the goal in life. So New Year's is what? New Year's Eve is tomorrow night. Next night, something tomorrow night, yeah? New Year's Eve is tomorrow night. And a lot of times on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, people like to make resolutions. See, and usually the resolutions are something they think will make their life better. See? So they decide they're going to do something usually pertaining to their body. I'm going to go on a diet. See, and I'm going to lose 20 kilos. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. See, convincing themselves. Yes, I am. And they don't. But anyway, good try. See? Or I'm going to do this or that or other. Or I'm going to find somebody. Or I'm going to leave somebody. You see? I'm going to get out this year. Whatever. So anyway, that's what we do. So let's do it a little better than that. Let's say I'm going to begin the journey back home. What about that? And the longest journey starts with the first step. So I'm going to make the vow maybe to myself, not to God. Don't make vows to God, because if you make a vow to God, it's a serious thing. Then you break it. That's an offense. Don't do that. See, oh God, I promised it. Don't do it. You say, that's not good. You know. But say to yourself, self, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the first step. I'm going to begin by every day doing a little of this mantra meditation. See? And every day you do. And then a little more. You can add. There's a whole process of bhakti yoga. See? You can decide, I'm going to do it. And a little determination. And do it. And you'll be so benefited by it that you'll want to do more and want to do more and want to do more. See, it's the gradual evolution of the soul. See, from the world of lust to the world of love. We can transform lust into love in this way. Remember what lust is, the perverted reflection of love. All we have to do is bring it back, remove the red lens, and the light is white. See, the only problem was the lens, that's all, not the light. So remove the false ego, come back to our natural position. I am the loving servant of God. And act on that. Don't just talk about it, philosophize about it, and go about your merry way of enjoying the world to the fullest. I'm the servant. No, the world's full of people with heads full of philosophy, but no action. You see. Little philosophy, a lot of action. Not a lot of philosophy and no action. So you do a little bit. One step, another step, another step. And that is the road back to perfection, you see. And one other thing, because God loves us, He helps us. He's telling us we should do this. He explains all this to us. And then He says, and on top of all that, I'll help you do it. How much can He help us? Completely. All we have to do is try. You've heard the statement, God helps those who help themselves. Anybody ever heard that? It's true. But we have to help too. He's not going to do it for us because we have the free will. We have to use our will, decide on our own, make a choice. I'm going to do this. And then God immediately knows that and helps us do it. As long as I want, He wants to help. When I don't want Him involved, okay, here's the sandbox. And here's a new toy. Have fun. That's the ideas. So think about these things. Life is serious stuff. We never think about life to any depth. We always think on the surface. But there are times, there is a need where we should think a little more deeply. You see, when we chant these mantras, which we're doing now, we've done Gauranga, we're going to do a couple more now. This connects us with the Supreme Lord Himself. This is transcendental sound. It's His presence in the mantra, in the sound. We're connected. We can have that connection again and again, day in, day out, regular. And more, that relationship begins to evolve, you see. As you associate with another person, a relationship develops. We all know that. So as we associate with the Supreme Lord through transcendental sound, the relationship develops. We're reviving what is already there. And that's life. So we're going to feel as we go along more and more alive. Is that a bad thing? No, that's perfect. So that's an idea for the new year. Make it a really new year, not just another year of the same old, you see, but a really new year. See? And you'll be glad you did. And next year you can make a little more. Okay? So thank you very much. We're going to do a little more meditation now. That's why we gave you the cards. But this meditation is now going to be a different technique. This is called Sankirtan, congregational chanting. You see. Basically, it means congregational singing. We're going to all sing the mantra. Everybody knows how to sing. See, that's part of our nature too. It's unique. In this world, oftentimes we don't sing at all, or very little, because we're so burdened down with life. But when we're really, really happy, what do? We sing, right? Oh, I sing. But when you're blah, 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 humbug, you see. So in the spiritual world, every word is a song. In the spiritual world, every word is a song. What else do we do when we're feeling really good? We dance. Da 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 da, zippity doo da. Ooh. In the spiritual world, every step is a dance, and every emotion is love. That's the real world. This is not the real world. This is the fake world. It's real because it's here and we're in it, but it's not the real home. It's not that world where we belong. It doesn't make us happy. So we're going to sing these mantras. And the mantras are, I don't know. Haribo Nitai Gaur, is that on the card? Yeah? Okay. So it's Haribo Nitai Gaur, Haribo. Let's say that all together. I say, you say. Haribo. Nitai Gaur. Nitai Gaur. Haribo. Haribo Nitai Gaur. Nitai Gaur Haribo. Gopala. Govinda. Rama. Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama. Madana Mohana. Great. All right. So I will chant the mantra while you listen, and you chant the mantra while I listen. That means you got to chant loud. I got a microphone, you don't. But you got numbers. So it should be equal. Haribo Nitai Go. Nitai Go Haribo. 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 Whoa, Haribo. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama Mahadana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala yeah. Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana oh, Gopala Govinda Rama Mahadana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Mahadana Mohana Hare Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Bol Nitai Gaur Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Bol Nitai Gaur Hare Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur. Hari Bol. All right, we thank you all very much for coming. I think we have a nice dinner for everyone now. I know it's been a long lecture, so now you're probably very hungry. So we can take care of that. So thank you again. All the best. Hari Bol. May you have a very happy new year filled with spiritual love.